times per second. 20 times per second, that's quite impressive. Adults have 206 bones in their body. The nearest star to the Sun is called Proxima Centauri. So there we go, let's have a little look inside. So the first page, did you know? Look at all these gorgeous pictures, it's so nice. So we've got, this is like a contents page but also has some facts. So we're going to have a bit about science, the world, living things, treasure trove, entertainment, true or false, and when did it happen. Okay, let's pick some of these facts, shall we? Your right lung is slightly larger than your left lung. That's actually because of your heart. Your heart is slightly to the left of your chest, so that takes up a little bit of space. So this lung is ever so slightly smaller. I did actually know that one. Pavlova, a dessert named after a Russian ballet dancer called Anna Pavlova, was first made in the 1920s. The Margherita pizza is said to have been named after the Italian Queen Margherita of Savoy around 1889. Its topping of basil, tomatoes and mozzarella represents the green, red and white of the Italian flag. Did you know that? Interesting. The largest cut and polished diamond in the world is a brown diamond called the Golden Jubilee. Gems and pearls are weighed in carats, and 1 carat is 0.2 grams. The Golden Jubilee diamond weighs 545.67 carats and is roughly the size of an apple. A diamond the size of an apple. Wow. I wonder where that is. Where that's kept and who owns that. Flamingos turn pinker and pinker the more shrimp and algae they eat. So this isn't necessarily a natural colour for them then, this is actually due to the food that they eat. They eat shrimp and algae and it turns them pink. That's incredible. That's really cool. Freshwater fish don't drink. They absorb the water they need through their skin. Do you know what? I have actually wondered that before. Like, all living things need water to survive and need to drink. How did they do that? I have actually thought about that. Fish that live in the salty sea drink water through their mouths. They do this so they can filter out some of the salt. Okay, so fish in the sea actually do drink the water through their mouths and they filter out the salt. But freshwater fish don't, they just absorb the water. Okay, I've definitely learned something today. Okay, let's leave some facts for the other pages, shall we? Let's move on. So we've got the world. Water covers 71% of the earth, but only 1% of it is drinkable. That's quite the statistic, isn't it? 1% is drinkable out of 71% of water on the earth. That's crazy. What else can we learn? A multi-layered atmosphere of gases surrounds the earth. So we have the thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere and troposphere. Weather happens in the troposphere. And then we have the crust. The earth is made up of different layers of rock and metals. December 1911, an expedition reached the South Pole for the first time. It was led by Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen. You got to admire people going places that people have never been before. It's craziness, isn't it? Oh, look at this. Big blip. Earth has 7 continents and 5 oceans, each shown on this map in capital letters. I am hoping that everybody knows the continents. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australasia and Oceania. I think mostly it's just called either Oceania or Australasia, and Antarctica. Really cool. Okay. Let's do one or two from this side as well. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built more than 4,500 years ago. 4,500. And they still don't really know how they did it. It's like Stonehenge. It's there. We know they did it, but we don't know how. The Great Pyramid was one of 7 sites popular with ancient Greek tourists. They are known as the 7 Wonders of the World. Today, only the Great Pyramid still stands. It's quite sad, isn't it? But at least they are standing. The Amazon rainforest in South America is bigger than all the other rainforests put together. Wow. Only 2% of sunlight gets through the trees to reach the forest floor. 2%. That's how dense it is. 2% of the sunlight's getting through. The highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. I think most people know that. It's part of the Himalayas mountain range. The Himalayas stretch across 7 countries, shown above. I didn't know it stretched across 7. So Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, China, Bhutan and Myanmar. Nepal is the only country whose flag isn't rectangular or square. It's made of 2 triangles that represent the Himalayas. That's a really cool thing. That's a cool fact to know. The largest system of coral reefs is the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia. The Great Barrier Reef is made up of more than 2,900 coral reefs and 900 islands. Very cool. I've been to Australia a couple of times, but I never got to the Great Barrier Reef. It's on my to-do list for next time, hopefully. Okay, living things. Living things. Let's just open up this. Oh, let's read this first. Blue whales are the largest animals ever. Some blue whales are over 30 metres or 100 feet long. That is quite the statistic considering there were dinosaurs, and we know that some of those were huge. Blue whales are the largest animals ever. Whale sharks are the largest fish. The tallest animal is a giraffe. The largest type of bird is an ostrich. It also lays the largest egg of any living animal. Huge eggs. The most poisonous animal is the golden dart frog. I think people would assume it would be a snake or a spider, but it's actually the golden dart frog. Just one golden dart frog skin is covered in enough poison to kill more than 10 people. Wowzers. Yeah, that surprised me. Genuinely would have thought that would be a snake or a spider. Some pigs are trained to sniff for truffles. And it says here a pig can be as intelligent as a 3-year-old child. I think pigs get a bad rep, they really do. Everyone thinks they're quite a stupid animal. They're highly intelligent. Highly intelligent and actually can be quite useful. Truffles are an expensive kind of edible fungus that grows underground. Look at the price of this. In 2007, a single white truffle weighing 1.5 kilos 60 centimetres taller each day. Wow, cool. Okay. Moving on, otherwise the whole thing is just going to be about the first like 2 pages. Because there's quite a few to go. I don't know about you, but I love learning facts. I think they're just really interesting. Everyone says that I'm full of useless knowledge, but I find it really interesting. I like knowing things. I like knowing what's going on in the world and being able to contribute to a conversation about most things. So I like books like this, even though this is my son's book, it's a children's book, but I love looking through things like this, picking up those little tidbits of knowledge. I think that's what the world's about, just trying to learn more, be better people. Okay. I think most of us know about this, but it's still cool. The sun is the heart of the solar system. 8 planets circle or orbit around it. I still struggle with this because my whole life I grew up, as most of us did, with 9 planets. And I feel really sorry for little Pluto getting kicked off the list. I understand why, but it's still a bit sad, and I still struggle to say 8 planets instead of 9. So in order we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. See that? The Sun is around 150 million kilometres or 93 million miles away from Earth. The solar system includes at least 1,000 dwarf planets, and just 5 have been named so far. And there's our little Pluto. It's just one of the 5 of 1,000 planets, dwarf planets that they're in the solar system. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. It's actually the second closest. You would think Mercury would be the hottest, but it's actually Venus. I think due to its lack of any sort of atmosphere, there's nothing to protect it from the sun, which then equally it's the coldest at night. Well, probably Neptune's the coldest, but it's one of the coldest because it's got nothing to stop that heat just escaping out. Okay. DNA. This is something I do know. DNA is short for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's the chemical basis for all living things. All animals have very similar DNA. Human DNA is around 96% the same as chimpanzee DNA, 90% the same as cat DNA, and 60% the same as fruit fly. Which, rather than say we're just really similar, it just shows you the DNA needed to be alive. We all have to have the certain same things to even be alive. And then that little difference is whether we're hairy or whether we can speak or use tools or have opposable thumbs. It's incredible when you start thinking about it. It's crazy. What else have we got? See that? Ballpoint pens were invented by Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro in 1938. That's where we get the Biro pen from. The Hungarian guy inventing it in 1938. The hardest part of your body isn't made of bone at all. It's the enamel that covers each tooth. That's pretty interesting. Sodium is a soft explosive metal. Chlorine is a poisonous gas. What happens if you mix them? At first, the sodium catches fire and glows bright orange. But when the fire burns out, it leaves behind a harmless white powder, which is our salt. So we have an explosive metal and a poisonous gas, but when they react together, the result is salt, the most common everyday ingredient. How cool is that? first microscopes were invented in the 17th century, all that time ago. English scientist Robert Hooke saw through his microscope that living things are made of tiny building blocks he called cells. So the idea of the cells goes back to the 17th century. Brilliant. There we go, look at this page. Entertainment. It's like a chessboard. Look. What have we got here then? Chess is played with 6 different kinds of pieces. So with king, queen, bishop, knight, rook and pawn. In 1997, a computer called Deep Blue became the first computer to defeat a world chess champion in a match against Garry Kasparov. It's possible to win a game of chess in just 2 moves. I kind of know how to play chess, but I am not going to be any sort of chess champion anytime soon. I find it a bit boring, if I'm honest. I admire people that can do it, but my brain doesn't work where it can think steps ahead. I kind of just, I see a move, but I have no thought process about what they might do or what I can do next. My brain, I can't play snooker or pool for the same reason. I can just do what's in front of me. I cannot plan ahead. My brain just doesn't work in that way. The longest tennis match so far lasted 11 hours and 5 minutes. It was played at the Wimbledon Championships in 2010, so not that long ago, between John Isner and Nicholas Mote. 11 hours and 5 minutes. Crikey. Wowzers. This is quite interesting. The first skateboards were invented in the 1950s. They were made so surfers could train on land when there weren't enough waves. Genuinely didn't know that. That seems like a made-up fact, really, doesn't it? That's cool. Fireworks were invented in China over 1,000 years ago. This is apt as the World Cup's just come to an end. The association football competition, the World Cup, was first held in 1930. The Uruguayan team won and were awarded the Jules Rimet Trophy. In 1970, Brazil became the first nation to win the World Cup for a 3rd time. They were given the trophy to keep for good. Since then, a new trophy, the FIFA World Cup trophy, has been awarded instead. So it's no longer the Jules Rimet, it's the FIFA World Cup trophy. Oh, that's a bit sad. This is one of those facts that is absolutely useless, but you never know when it might come up in a quiz one day. You could draw a line 35 miles long with a typical pencil. There we go. 35 miles or 56 kilometres with one pencil. You never know when you might use that. Keep that in your bag. Okay, moving on. Treasure trove. Okay, what do we have here? Horned and winged helmets were made in the 19th century for plays and operas based on Viking stories. Vikings lived over 1,000 years ago. Their helmets didn't have horns or wings, they were cone-shaped. And this boat is a Viking longship. Yeah, it's one of those weird things that we associate. Even the Norwegian team at the World Cup and all the fans, they were wearing Viking helmets with horns. This was from years ago, in, like it says, the 19th century, for plays and things, that they never ever wore them. It's a really weird little thing of history that, a misconception that's just carried on through time. Japanese samurai warriors carried curved swords like this, called a katana. Very cool. Austrian composer Mozart wrote his first symphony when he was only 8. What was I doing at 8? Not a lot. I certainly wasn't so around the world at the moment, and you're like, what is the point of it all, really? Just all that death and pain and destruction, and for what? What does anybody really gain at the end of it? Yeah, humans, eh? What we do to each other, it's not okay. Let's have a look here, look. In 1888, Bertha Benz, great name, Bertha Benz was the first person to drive a motor car between two towns, and it was built by her husband, Carl Benz. In 1903, the first motor-powered aircraft took off. The Flyer was built by brothers Orville and Wilbur Wright. They took turns to test out their planes. Yeah, the Wright brothers, and I'm guessing this has something to do with Mercedes-Benz as well. Really cool. Okay, moving on. Here we go, let's play some true or false. What do we think? The Milky Way galaxy is a spiral shape. Do we think that is true or false? I think it is. I'm going to say it's true. It's false. Two bars jut out from a central hub, creating a shape called a barred spiral. So it is a spiral. Why does it say false then? Don't really get that. Not a great first one. Most African elephants are frightened of bees. Okay, that's very random. I think it's so random it has to be true. Let's go for true. Yes! True, 9 out of 10 elephants will run away from the sound of buzzing bees. Bees sometimes sting elephants on the insides of their trunks. Oh, that must be super painful for them. A harp has the most strings of any instrument. I think that's false. If you're going to say strings, like a piano probably has more like inside, doesn't it? Yes, false. A grand concert harp has 47 strings. A standard grand piano has 230 strings. So definitely bigger. So I got that one right. Hot water is heavier than cold water. I feel like that must be false. Surely water's just water. It is true. Each tiny particle of water gets a little heavier as it warms up because it holds more energy. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sharks evolved before dinosaurs. They did, I know that's true. The first sharks appeared around 450 million years ago. At least 100 million years before the first dinosaur. And from what I have read, they have not changed an awful lot from how they appear today. They are that good a killing machine. They are that good at what they do and are that good at surviving. They haven't needed to evolve too much. They're pretty impressive. I am absolutely terrified of sharks and I hate the idea of them. But I do admire them. I think they're amazing animals. But I am absolutely terrified of them and I don't like going in the sea because that's where they live. Vincent van Gogh sold only one painting in his lifetime. That could be true, but I thought he didn't sell any. It is true, he did sell one. The painting was called The Red Vineyards near Arles. Oh well, that's cool, at least he died an actual painter, like he actually had sold one. I feel better for him now. Identical twins have identical fingerprints. I mean, we're always told that fingerprints are completely unique to the individual. So you would like to think then identical twins would have the same ones. So I genuinely don't know the answer to this one. I'm going to say they're true, they have identical ones. It is false. believe that's true. Ah, it's false. Air pressure stops a penny from falling very fast, so it wouldn't even hurt very much. I don't think I'd really want to test that theory. I imagine it probably would still hurt. And what if it's dropped like this way? But what if it's dropped like on its edge? Maybe it'd be a bit more streamlined. I don't know. Again, I don't want to test that theory. Your tongue can detect just 4 different types of tastes. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter. Maybe. I think it might be true. Oh, it's false. It's 5. Bitter, sweet, sour, salty, and umami. Oh yes. I don't believe we'd heard this word like my whole life growing up, and then in the last few years I feel like this just suddenly has appeared, like we've always known about it. Like everyone knows umami. This was not a word, I swear it wasn't a word like growing up. But there we go. Umami. At least 16 million people alive today are descendants of Genghis Khan. Because it was such a long time ago, I'm going to say yes, yes it is true. Yes. Khan's Mongol Empire covered more continuous land than any other. He had large families in each region. Panama hats were invented in Panama. Oh, that's got to be true, isn't it? Oh, what? Although they take the name from Panama, or a version of a straw hat first made in Ecuador. Oh. Been lied to, people, we've been lied to. Chimpanzees have more hairs than humans. Is that a trick question? Is it false? On average, humans and chimpanzees have the same number of hairs, but chimp hair is often thicker, so they look hairier. Oh, okay. Not what I thought, but still cool. There are more tigers in the state of Texas than there are in the wild. Again, that's got to be one of those crazy ones. It's got to be true, isn't it? Oh, that's really sad. There are fewer than 3,000 wild tigers, but more are kept as pets or in zoos across Texas alone. Wow, that is a terrible, terrible fact to know. What are you doing, people of Texas? Why do you have tigers as pets? That's nuts. Mosquitoes have teeth. I think that's true. I'm going to say true. Yes, got the true for the last one. Mosquito teeth are technically described as mandibles, but they do have teeth. Let me know how you got on. I didn't do too badly there, but a couple of them definitely caught me out. Did you do any better? Let me know. Okay, let's look up the quizzy bits at the end. And then you have a look at those and decide if you want to do them. But I'm going to call it there. There we go. Thank you for joining me on my little fact-finding mission. I enjoyed that and I hope you did too. Again, as always, if you made it this far, well done you. And I hope you're nicely rested and you feel relaxed.